Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. We are live talking about Lucha Underground's 100th episode, the 35th of this season, Season 3, CIEN. Joining me tonight, and we hinted at something last week, and I'm glad we could pull it off this week. Chris Phoenix joining me again, but he is in the flesh this week, folks. Dude, I'm so glad you could join me. How you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Since my face has returned to the land of living.
Yes, it has been a very long time since we've seen your masked face on a podcast. I'm trying to remember the last time we've seen your face on a podcast. I'm guessing it had to have been with the Wrestle Addict.
Yeah, it might have been the live stream that we did last year for SummerSlam. I think that was the last time.
So about a year.
Yeah, actually, no, correction. It was shortly after the live stream. It was the once and possibly only time that all four of the Wrestle Addict brothers have been in the same room at the same time.
Oh, that was the live one that you guys did on the East Coast.
Yep.
Or was it Jersey or Philly?
Jersey.
Okay, so East Coast is
Brother Oni's house.
Brother Oni's house. That's right. Shout out to Chris Oni and all the past Wrestle Addict guys, G-Rod, Paul, Rant with Ant. Go hit up Rant with Ant. He runs a great podcast with G-Rod as his producer. Before we get into this episode, dude, I was just watching the funniest thing. Okay,
what's that?
I'm subscribed to. I don't think a lot of people know about this YouTube channel. It's Johnny Mundo's. John Morrison's own YouTube channel. Okay, it's called the Palace of Wisdom.
He still got that.
It's the palace with the Palace of Wisdom is eternal. Cue the monks. Oh, you know. He got together. I don't want to give everything away, but I'll tell you the basic gist of it. He got together with DDP Yoga's production team, which is pretty good. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
As far as like shooting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He did a Tinder date prank.
What?
Where he actually was in full character for Boone the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
From his movie.
Nice.
And like met girls on a date, and then in the middle of the date got calls to go chase someone down. And I'm not going to tell you what happens after that. It's just absolute hilarity. Go do yourself a favor if you're a fan of Johnny Mundo's, and you just want to see some ridiculous Tinder date action gone wrong. Go check out this video. Oh, I'm just laughing thinking about it. All right. Trying to contain myself. You won't be disappointed. Lucha Underground, Season 3, Episode 35, CN. Dude. How many episodes, or how many shows don't even make it to episode 100?
Man, it's got to be at least 25 a year, depending on the channels that are on. You know, you go from network television to the specialty networks. You know, all the things like between TLC, A&E, AMC, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox. There are so many that never make it to episode 100.
Yeah, so this is quite the milestone for something, you know, in the realm of professional wrestling. And something unique like this show that has so many other supernatural tidbits in it, you know?
Yeah.
Crazy. Let's just go from top to bottom with this one because it's pretty goofy. I honestly think we talked about this briefly before we went live. The substance that happens outside of the ring in this episode, I think, is actually a lot more, we'll say, for lack of better words, important than the matches themselves, because we've got, 2 weeks to go until Ultima Lucha Trace, and that's just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
What did you think of that first promo in the locker room where Ricky Mandel is revealed as the, I should say the attempted Ricky Mundo?
Now, would that be his illegitimate brother or his illegitimate son? I kind of wonder about that. You know, yeah, he's like, oh, they're like, Johnny's gonna hate it. Johnny's gonna hate it. What am I gonna hate? And it's like, no, it's like, no, man, you're gonna love it. It's like, here. It's like zooms in on that thing and circles it out. Ricky Mundo.
I think the goofiest part of the goofiest part of all this is Jack Evans sitting there with his jaw wired shut, and they incorporate it in such a quiet yet big way into each of these segments because he can't talk. He just goes.
He got a jaw wired. I remember something like that from another movie. I can't remember what it was, but I remember something like that.
The dry erase board. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Oh man. And
the things Jack does with that dry erase board, man. Funny stuff.
It is. It is. I don't remember if he did anything during the match. He might have.
No, not during this match. A couple weeks ago, yes. Yeah, no, 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the believers are pendejos, you know. Wow. you write that out on a rebus as like, you know, symbols in the pictures on a white dry erase board. Pretty smart, Jack.
That's cold. That's cold.
Yeah, but this time, nah. But the loving tribute from Ricky Mandel Mundo to his master didn't go over as well as Ricky would have planned. But at the same time, you know, he said, he's like, there's only one Mundo in the Worldwide Underground. He's like, does that mean I'm in the Worldwide Underground? All right. So there was a silver lining to that.
Yeah, so he was like, he officially, unofficially is a part of the Worldwide Underground, even though the name change did not go over well. Just as a side thing, whatever the address on there, I doubt if that's a real address. Although it'd be worth, looking for if you want to Google it. I don't remember what it was, but
me neither. I'd have to check that because no, wait, I couldn't because I deleted that episode off my DVR. Oops, my bad. But no. Speaking of other members on a trial basis, I found out last night while watching a documentary on Netflix that Dee Snider was actually brought into Twisted Sister on a trial basis, and he has been as such for the past 35 years of the band's existence. He was not the first lead singer. Can you believe that? He was not the first lead singer of Twisted Sister. I found that out, but he's been on a trial basis for God knows how many years.
Are you talking about the documentary on there about the first several years of the band?
Yes, I'm halfway through that. I'm just getting to the part where they're just about on the brink of signing with something.
Oh, that is a great documentary. I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good one. Good old Dee Snider. He's still got it too. He's still got them pipes.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's get into the first match, the Atomicos match, Team Puma versus Team Mundo. Now, I pretty much stayed off of social media all day, and even though Lucha Underground released the details of Team Puma, because they didn't get to say it in the last episode, even though he was supposed to announce it in the ring. They announced who his team was, but nonetheless, it was a surprise to be watching it when I watched it finally last night. Team Puma is, of course, Prince Puma, Sexy Star, boo, the Beast they call Cage, and Phoenix. That's a heck of a team.
Now, the thing that I didn't really kind of understand was the inclusion of the Machine Cage. Now, you can say about Phoenix. Phoenix was a friend of Puma's anyway. Sexy Star, a definite friend of Phoenix. But the inclusion of Cage, that really didn't make sense. But then again, he's not an enemy. So it was kind of hard.
Yeah, Cage is one of those, like, I don't think he's never had any like big alliances in Lucha Underground. He's usually been out just for himself, you know.
Pretty much. I mean, he ran with the crew for like a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah, that was probably in the inception of, was that season 1?
Yes.
Yeah,
within the first 5 episodes.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it was strange, especially his behavior during the match, which, and like I said earlier, you know, the things that happened like outside of this this episode outside the ring is actually on a much bigger scale of what's happening.
But they did feed into that from the action within the ring.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah,
the collusion that you would have seen between the members of the Lucha, the Worldwide Underground. First off, replacing Ricky Mandel for his unfortunate guffaw, if you will, his faux pas, if you will. It's like, well, you screwed up, Johnny. You screwed up, Mundo. Well, you screwed up, Ricky. Sit in the corner. So they sat him in the corner, and they brought out a temporary member of the Worldwide Underground, Marty Creepy Bastard.
The boss.
Much to the chagrin of Melissa Santos.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a huge part of that match. Just the tense the tense look from Melissa Santos, like, oh no. And of course, you know, firing up Phoenix even more for this match.
Yeah, he's like, now I've got to work doubly hard, not just to win this match, but to protect Melissa. How am I going to do it all? Oh wait, we've got Cage.
Dun,
But
dun,
Cage,
dun.
but Cage was overpowered in a 3-on-1 collusion game. A distraction from behind. Oh no, wait, a distraction to the face by Taya. Last time I remember a match between Taya and Cage, I believe Cage slammed her into the wall. And I believe the gif that goes along with that is I love my job. With you see Cage where his face was at the time, place where Johnny is usually there most nights. So that being said, I think Cage might have wanted to go there again, but Johnny remembered that and he stopped him short. Him, PJ, and Marty just went ham on him, kicked him out, and that was the point at which the match broke down temporarily, having all combatants fighting each other until it was back under control of the one-on-one contest in the ring.
Yeah, that was nuts. And then while all this stuff is happening with Cage, none other than Jeremiah Crane sneaks out. I love that guy. Oh, man. Sneaks out, steals the gauntlet.
Cage's magic glove.
Oh, yeah. Which no one understands the significance, like, you know.
In the ring.
Yeah.
The people in the arena, people in the ring, don't understand what this magic gauntlet is. They don't understand what this powerful talisman that Cage wears on his hand is actually doing, because they don't watch the backstage segments. It's not like there's a Titantron somewhere up there saying, look, 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 this is what's going on backstage. The believers don't know it until they're home and watching it on TV like, Wait, that's what's happening? That's why that's doing that? That's why he's... Oh, man, that's awesome.
Right? Yeah, that's I can imagine how many people that were actually there live then now seeing this, and then what happened after this match, which we'll get into in a little bit. Well, so that immediately takes Cage out of the match. He chases away Jeremiah Crane, which is hilarious. You know, it's like if you got a sense of humor like me, you hear the Scooby-Doo running sound effects in the background. Yeah, exactly. That's what I saw totally when they were chasing each other out of there. And then they, as the match goes on, shortly after they make short work of Prince Puma, finishing him off, and then the aftermath of that, Marty the Moth Martinez going after Melissa Santos. Wow, was that intense, dude?
Yeah. Oh my God. Just like walking out the like, hi, Melissa. How are you?
And someone screaming, if you play it back, someone screaming from the crowd, no means no. It's like,
my girlfriend was screaming the same thing.
Right.
Oh, by the way, speaking of creepy bastards, just real quick, on the Impact match here that EC3 was taking on Phantasma, it was down to a split decision, and then all of a sudden, just last but not least, your winner and still Impact Grand Champion EC3 Phantasma slaps the ref's hand, and there was a debuting wrestler from AAA or Crash or wherever who has finally made his makeup face known to the world, and he's on Phantasma's side. You may know him as one of the Clown brothers, or the Psycho Clown, perhaps. Forget which clown he is, but the guy named Pagano, I believe it is, has just made his presence known in Impact.
He's known as one of the most hardcore guys down in AAA. I'm actually really excited about that. That should be pretty cool.
Well, he made his presence known, and to even up the odds, Eddie Edwards came out to the aid of EC3.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Something to look forward to when you're watching Impact.
There we go. Yes, which I will be watching later tonight, and time permitting, we'll try to get a review in within the next 24 hours or less.
Yeah.
So, Crane steals the match. Marty the Moth Martinez goes after Melissa Santos, and Phoenix rescues her with a hell of a super kick.
Oh,
taking him out.
But before that, Melissa was slapping out of the hell of Marty, and he was loving it.
Oh, that was just firing up Marty the Moth Martinez even more. Yes, absolutely.
Marty likes it rough, ladies. Marty likes it rough.
Little warning there.
Yeah, don't tell his sister. But aside from that, yes, very entertaining post-match segment. Seeing, unfortunately, the collusion come together, the absence of alliances, and the emergence of the Worldwide Underground beating Team Puma 4-1. And unfortunately, the heel victory that followed set up several rivalries and matches for Ultima Lucha Tres. Not to mention, the following week, when Vamp and Stryker announced that in the next episode of Lucha Underground, it would be Mariposa and Marty the Moth Martinez versus Phoenix and our own lovely Melissa Santos.
That is a shocker, let me tell you. The fact that Melissa Santos is actually getting it in the ring, that just blows my mind right there. What do you think of that, dude?
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad she's getting in the ring. She's got a lot to fight for. I'd like to see what she's actually capable of. I honestly wonder who she trained with for this match, because she's got several other wrestlers to learn from. All the way from Chavo behind the scenes to Ray himself or Puma or anybody on that roster could have been teaching her. Who knows?
Well, if you want to breaking or destroying kayfabe, as it were, and just a side note, outside of Lucha Underground, I want to say congrats to Melissa Santos and Cage on their new little one, who is just was announced this week. They're having a baby. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that. Me personally, I don't really keep up on the dirt sheets, especially, not for Lucha, because I want to be surprised. But at the same time, from day one when she introduced Cage, I thought there's something there. There's something there. The way she introduces him, oh, there's something there. I got to wonder about that. I honestly thought for like a minute that her and Phoenix were for real. But this, wow. I kind of had a feeling. Good for her.
Yeah, so as cool as it is to see Melissa Santos in the ring, I have a feeling her in-ring career is going to be short but sweet, as it were.
Wow.
So congrats to them. Very cool. From the Smash This podcast. So yeah, that'll be a crazy tag team match we're going to get next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then skipping to the next promo, Crane in the I don't know what you would call that. The
Temple of Death.
The meditation dojo of one Katrina and Mil Muertes, which I'm guessing is in the same building or not that far away.
Not that far away.
It can't be, because Cage obviously followed Jeremiah Crane there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost
somewhere deep down in the
with
bowels of the temple, maybe.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot more that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's giving the gauntlet to Katrina, which she wants to get the gauntlet anyways to give it to her mother.
I think so, yeah.
Captain Vasquez. I had to think of the relation there for a second. Excuse me.
Yes.
My in my old age. And almost pulls it off, and then Cage shows up. Oh, I should say, but before that, Mil Muertes attacks Crane because Crane wants a little sugar in return.
Yeah. He's like, I got your gauntlet. What you gonna give me, baby?
He's like, I want a little something. And Mil Muertes spearing him out of his boots.
Goldberged his ass.
Oh, he did, totally. And then Cage shows up out of nowhere.
Yep.
It looks like he's about to pop off Katrina's head with one hand, like a dandelion.
Mm-hmm.
And she drops the gauntlet out of her hand, which gives her her own power back to disappear, which is a very strange little segment there. The fact that he said, you're not going anywhere as long as that's in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
As in
this has magic more powerful than you could ever imagine.
So yeah, the fact that it was the gauntlet was actually controlling her powers, is she couldn't disappear. So she drops it and then disappears.
I'm thinking, if anything, the gauntlet actually anchors her to this plane of existence, whereas normally she is kind of swaying between worlds. She is trapped interdimensionally, which is why she's able to disappear at will.
Oh, like teleport in a sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, which obviously means that Cage is starting to learn more about the powers of the gauntlet himself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then the crazy three-way fight ensues with Cage pulling a Three Stooges and, donk.
Yep. A meeting of the minds, if you will.
Yes, and no one showed up. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that. Hopefully nobody teleports here. Oh, yeah. If you don't see me next week, you know why, folks. I got deported from a teleportation. So yeah, and then and the best part of this whole thing, the last person you would expect ends up with the gauntlet.
Well, it is his temple after all.
It's like, okay, well, Cage is going to get it back. No, Katrina's going to take off with it. No, Dario, of all people, while the skirmish is going on behind him, runs off like a thief in the night.
Sneaks through like a Guerrero, cops that gauntlet, and off he goes.
Oh, stealing it like a baby. So the fact that Dario is in possession of the gauntlet again makes you wonder. I can't even imagine what he's going to do with it.
If he's going to, 1, keep it for himself as a bargaining chip, 2, give it to his brother Matanza to have more power, or 3, rub it in Cage's face and basically say, you need to hold on better to your things.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. And obviously the other end of that too, with Katrina and Captain Vasquez and Mil Muertes and Crane and that whole
quadrangle.
Oh man, it's just crazy. And then of course outside of the temple with the man in the limo, him too. Who apparently is in collusion with the FBI as well. So yeah, next week we're getting that tag match, Marty the Moth with his sister Mariposa against Phoenix and Melissa Santos. We mentioned that. And for the last Ancient Aztec medallion up for grabs, we have the match between Dragon Azteca Jr. versus Pentagon Dark. A short but sweet match.
Definitely action packed for what it was. Not a whole lot of aerial spots, but the ones that were there were very, very well met.
Yeah, it was. It's always interesting to see how the crowd reacts. Especially this week, they were on fire. They were louder than ever.
Oh, and a quick note, a shout out to our one of our favorite Lucha fans, Mr. Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias. The audience that night with his friend Alfred Robles and a couple other people on the roster there, giving Dragon a little fist bump after he completed a maneuver before he got back into the ring.
Was that Fluffy? It looked like him.
Gabriel Iglesias is unmistakable. That was Fluffy.
It's interesting that I don't think they mentioned him, because I looked at him and I'm like, is that Fluffy?
Front row Fluffy!
Well, and he's lost so much weight within the last year too. And this was filmed. This is filmed over a year ago. So the fact that when they filmed this, that's another reason why I didn't recognize him. I was like, whoa, that's a big boy. It looks like, no, that's not him. So yeah, wow.
Yeah, no, that was him.
Interesting. Very interesting. Fluffy is a Lucha fan.
That's right. He's a fan of all wrestling, but getting down to the neck of the woods where his pal Felipe Esparza lives, down in Boyle Heights, getting down there to see what Lucha Underground is all about, I think it was well worth his time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think Trejo told him.
I know they film a bunch of these in a row. I don't remember him being, because you can usually tell like how many they film in a row by what band is playing.
Yeah, like Slapback.
Yeah, Slapback's been on like last, what, 5 or 6?
Yeah, something like that.
And I don't remember seeing Fluffy in attendance. So maybe he showed up late between intermissions or something and they put him, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe this is his first episode. Maybe he'll be back next episode.
That could be. We'll have to see.
But then again, Ray Ray's family was only there for one episode, so but they were part of the story.
Yeah, there was a kid in the audience that looked just like Dominic, but I don't think it was Dominic.
Yeah. Then again, there's a lot of the believers in there who you can see just about every single episode.
Oh yeah. There's a few different podcast Lucha Click aficionados out there that you see just about every single episode, which is nice to see, and
that one Mexican dude with the long hair, always in front row.
Oh yeah, he has the same spot like every show. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, very interesting that Pentagon Dark wins the last Aztec medallion. Now, if you go over the list, and I thought I made a list. I don't have it up. I've got it somewhere in my notes.
If I remember correctly, Matt Stryker was going down the line. He said that all 3 members of the Rabbit Tribe each have an Aztec medallion. As does Cortez Castro.
Cortez.
Yeah, he won the match the previous week against Joey Ryan.
Oh, that was for one of the medallions.
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so
that's at least 4 right there, and then you got Pentagon.
Son of Havoc has 1.
Son of Havoc is number 6. So I can't remember who the 7th was.
Is it Sexy Star?
It's probably Star, yeah.
I just can't remember.
Yeah, I'd have to double check about that, but I believe you're correct. I believe she's the 7th. Or the 5th, however.
No. It's Drago. My bad.
Drago. So
it's Drago, not Sexy Star.
All right.
Sexy Star has the match, which they also announced in tonight's episode. And if you blinked, you missed it because I didn't catch it the first time. I caught it the second time when they were going through stuff. Yep. They announced that they're going to have a last Luchadora standing match between Sexy Star and Taya of the Worldwide Underground.
Yeah, the question is, how good is this match going to be, and who's going to break whose arm this time around? Considering this was taped way before that incident happened, so to speak.
Yeah, it's just ironic, Yeah. It's interesting because they're of the actual, well, you could say, for lack of better words, bad blood going on there.
The rivalry down in AAA rears its ugly head in Lucha Underground.
Yes, it does. It truly does. So, in conclusion of this match, a lot of little things happen. Pentagon Dark winning by a package, his infamous package pile driver, taking out Dragon Azteca Jr., starts to leave the ring.
Yeah, and everybody is calling for the brutality. Oh, here we go. He thinks no for a second. He's going to respect the victory. But then he thinks less of himself and's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna break this guy's arm. So just as he's about to break his arm, who should arrive but the monster, Matanza Cueto.
Yeah, which was another shock.
We didn't expect him out until the last match of the evening.
Yeah, against Ray, and the fact that he showed up early and got in the face of Pentagon Dark was like, oh. And then of course they thank you to the school teacher brains of Mr. Matt Stryker.
Amen.
You're giving us a little rundown of their history dating
Mm-hmm.
back to Ultima
Seasons
Lucha
Dos.
Dos. Uh, Dario Cueto coming out screaming, waving his key around, saying, "No, don't attack him." Saving Pentagon Dark. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he's like, "No, don't attack him.
Get
I,
that
get
guy.
get the guy who's already down in there, Dragon
Yeah.
Azteca Jr."
Because he's Ray's boy, and we're gonna make Ray pay by hurting his student.
Which automatically, puts the psychology of the next match in Ray's head before it even starts.
Drawing the ire of the great king of Lucha Libre, drawing him down to the ring from the steps at the top of the temple. Must have heard something backstage, because down comes Ray, and he's ready to go. He gets his boy out of there, and they go to commercial break.
Yeah. The between security, refs, and doctors show up to help Dragon Azteca Jr. away with Rey Mysterio's help, and then we come back to the final match, which is just brutal. Not the way I thought things were going to go for Rey Mysterio. Obviously showing that Rey can't win them all.
Nope.
Even though, Matanza and Rey having a tremendous match, Rey giving very little offense.
Yeah.
He got a few good moves in, but Matanza just destroyed him.
Being in that cage with all that pent-up aggression the whole time really did a number on him psychologically. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and in this case, the cold blood of the Cuetos has definitely wrought its revenge on Rey Mysterio.
Absolutely. And then carrying Rey off.
Like a trophy.
Yeah.
Like a King Cuerno kill.
So between Matanza carrying off Rey, Dario Cueto now having the gauntlet. If you had any inkling of what possibly might be coming in the last handful of episodes of season 3 of Lucha Underground, I know me personally, I threw it all out the window because it just.
Of all the things, it's heel victory after heel victory after heel victory. Now, leading into Ultima Lucha Trace, the smart fan, the smart, if you will, would know that this kind of thing is coming and would see it coming and would be like, oh, yeah, I can see this coming a mile away. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. He's going to win. He's going to lose. He's going to win. He's going to lose. She's going to win. She's going to lose. And then at the end of it, it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. But it's going to lead to this, and this. Now, me, I don't play the dirt sheets. Speculate. I love to be surprised when it comes to wrestling, especially when it comes to Lucha.
Yeah.
So seeing what this brought, I'm like, I see what you did there. Nice.
Yeah, throws up a ton of question marks. I mean, we have some significant things that we know are going to happen as far as matches over the next few weeks. But as far as the little pieces that tie all this together in the whole bigger, outside the box scheme of the Lucha Underground world, I can't. Whatever is going to happen, I'm sure is going to blow our minds, and I can't wait. And it also, though, makes me a little sad because as much as I want to see this all go down, we still haven't heard anything about season 4.
Yeah, and there is talk of collusion for and against. One source says that season 3 will be its last. Another says season 4 has already wrapped and they are going to air that as the final season. But nobody but El Rey and the people at Lucha know for sure.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think season 4 has already been taped. I know they taped stuff after the in-ring tapings for, outside the ring stuff, like stuff like with Katrina and stuff like that. I know they filmed stuff like that. But as far as a whole nother season, I would be shocked if they actually did something under wraps and absolutely no one knew about it. But anyways, well, because then you'd have to have people in attendance too,
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so yeah, we got 1 week left before the 4-week Ultima Lucha Trace. And we've got a handful of matches already set up for that. The championship match. We've got all the participants of the Gift of the Gods Championship. That's what, 7 people?
Yep.
We've got Taya versus Sexy Star.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get, it hasn't been officially announced, but I know we're going to get some kind of match between Killshot and Dante Fox.
Yep.
I was thinking AR Fox. I'm like, no, what do they call him? Dante Fox. They call him Dante Fox in Lucha Underground.
Yep.
And I'm sure there's a handful of others.
The Trios Championship had yet to be defended.
Yeah,
that's still up in the air too.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna. I'm guessing if things don't go well for the Rabbit Tribe in the Ancient Aztec Medallion, or excuse me, Gift of the Gods Championship, Dario might feel sympathy on them and give them a shot at that. That's a guess.
The Rabbits versus the Reptiles. The Reptiles are still gonna win. Or the rabbits could outsmart them. We'll see.
I don't know. It's hard to say,
because one of the reptiles and all 3 rabbits each have an Aztec medallion. That could go either way.
Very true. Very true. So yeah, an absolute ton of stuff coming up. Can't wait to run it down in the following weeks. And that's going to pretty much do it for this one. Thank you so much for joining me in the flesh, as it were, Mr. Chris Phoenix.
I do what I can, when I can, how I can. And, well, you probably won't see this bearded face anytime soon. So get a good look now, people.
Once in a blue moon. I know you're not going to be around for a good part of the Ultima Lucha Trace because you're going to be out of town on business.
Oh yeah,
and stuff, which is unfortunate for me, but nonetheless good for you. But I'm sure either one way or another, you're still going to find a way to watch it somehow, some way.
Oh hell yeah!
So. But nonetheless, I know you'll be back for at least 1 or 2 more, hopefully. We'll have to see. So, thanks again, Chris Phoenix, for joining me, and thank you for watching me. If you like the content, give it a like, give it a sub, share it with your friends and all the aliens floating around you. And for notification's sake, hit that little bell on the YouTube page for notifications, because from what I've heard, there have not been too many of my videos seen on their feed lately. So we, do what we can, and I'm still making stuff, and so you can see it better, hit that bell. And that'll do it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon for another Global Force Wrestling review, hopefully within the next day or so. Till then, peace. Thanks for watching.